In this video, you're going to learn about 7 awesome free copywriting tools that will help you write faster, better, and with less effort. In fact, these are the same tools that I personally use as a copywriter in my career, and I know hundreds of people who also use them, one or the other. And let me tell you something, these tools can definitely help you regardless if you're a freelance copywriter, writing in-house, or you're just doing any other type of writing job. They will make your work so much easier. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Shaba, and I'm the founder of Game of Conversions, an online business where I teach people how to write better copy and how to do conversion rate optimization. And today, I will reveal 7 powerful tools that you can use in your business right now so you can write copy faster, easier, and with less effort. Let's get started. Alright, the first tool I have for you is called Thesaurus. And before you start wondering what the heck that is, it's basically a way to discover other words similar to your word that you want to use. Something more adventurous, something cooler, something unique. So, in fact, let's write this in. Let's write unique. And Thesaurus will give me several synonyms for this word, unique. It's going to say different, exclusive, particular, rare. But I can also do something else. Let's say that I'm writing a sales page or something in which I have to use a very particular adjective, let's say for a unique selling proposition. Then I want to say perfect. If I type this in, see how many synonyms Thesaurus gives me for perfect. If I don't want to say perfect, I can say impeccable, I can say splendid, I can say superb, I can say foolproof. So this is able to give your language that needed sizzle that you have to have in order for your copy to really connect with your audience emotionally. So whenever you need to find a word, or whenever you feel like you can simply not find that perfect word that you're looking for, use this tool and you're gonna love it. The second tool that I have for you is called the Hemingway App. And yes, it's based after the famous writer. And what this does is that it analyzes text that you paste in and it highlights readability, word count, and various instances where you're using passive voice or weak words, or your sentences are hard to understand basically. So remember, good copywriting is all about easily understandable, clear text that people have basically fun reading. They enjoy reading it. So if you want to write something, even if it's a very high level thing and you start to write academically about it, that copy is not going to convert, I promise you that. Instead, you have to aim to write at ideally a 7th or 8th grade level. And you may not believe me this, but Google it and you'll find that most bestseller books actually are written at the 7th grade reading level, and most of the population actually reads at a level like that. People are super busy, you know, they don't want to read about complex things and they don't want very complicated long sentences. So check this out. This is a sample text that Hemingway App has here. This is highlighted in yellow. It means that it's kind of hard to read, but if it's highlighted in red, it means that it's very hard to read. So it's much better if you just, you know, reformat this in some way. I just did this here, but obviously you're gonna do something else. But yeah, the idea is to break up the text in manageable chunks and also to make everything much easier to read. Also, if I highlight this word, it says I can replace it or omit it because it's too complex. And whenever you want to sell something as a copywriter or when you're writing marketing messages, basically, you don't want to engage the rational brain of the person too much, okay? You want to appeal to their emotions. And if you say you can utilize a shorter word in place of a purple one, blah, 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 you can just use something much more simple here, okay? Also, this is very important. If something is marked in green, it means that it has passive voice. And passive voice, again, is just loses your energy, uses the power of your copy. So you can, instead of saying phrases are green, have been marked to show passive voice, you can say phrases in green are marked to show passive voice. It's much more energetic actually. So yeah, make sure to paste your text here if you're writing an email, a blog post, anything, and just edit it, and you will notice a huge difference with how people perceive this text. The next tool I want to show you is called AirStory, and not many people know this. It's done by a copywriting company called Copy Hackers. And it's basically a writing tool made specifically for creators and for writers. Now, the question is why it's better than Google Docs, right? Well, the main reason is because AirStory has a cool tool, a plugin actually for Chrome or Firefox that you can use to basically highlight anything and categorize it as a note inside AirStory. And whenever you write something, you can very easily just drag those notes in, and you can format it much more easily than in Google Docs. This is my account here. This is a statement of work template that I have been working on. And as you can see, it's a template. But if I want to use any type of note, I have a huge note library here. And as you can see, there's a lot of things here, and they're all categorized with tags. And if I know that I'm searching for, let's say, activity, this is one of the tags. This should be included in this contract. So let's say I want to put this under my services, and I want to use this one. I just drag it here. I can edit it, stuff like that, and boom, that's it. And if I want to add anything else, I don't have to format anything. Everything is beautifully laid out. All the formatting, the space between the lines, they're all super good. I can add quotes. I can add anything else here. I can end the quote. I can add like columns. And once I'm done, I can even share it with people, invite a guest here or add team members. This is super useful for writing departments, but I can also publish it, okay? I can create a template out of it. I can export it to Drive, Word, even HTML. I can even export it to WordPress directly. So it's a more advanced tool, but it's really good in order to really speed up your writing and to create templates without, fiddling around in Google Docs or in Word. The next tool I have for you is CoSchedule's Headline Analyzer. And there are a lot of these types of tools out there that, basically analyze your headline and they tell you how to improve it. But I found that this is one of the best out there, and it's actually free. So if I input here how to win friends and influence people, which is a very famous headline, obviously it works really well. The tool will give me an overall headline score. It will also analyze my word balance, because there's kind of a formula of how many common words, uncommon words, emotional and power words should be in a headline. It also automatically detects what type of headline this is. It gives me recommendations on the perfect headline length. And mind you, these are based on real world data. So this company basically analyzed millions and millions and millions of headlines, and based on the best performing trends, they give you recommendations. So you better believe that this is true here. Now, that doesn't mean that you should always write headlines like this, but most of the time it will really make it much more readable and much more engaging. Like, check this out. Have you actually thought about how much people usually read of a headline? According to this tool, people read the first 3 words and they read the last 3 words. So if your headline is too long and some very important parts are right in the middle, then chances are a lot of people will not even see it. They're just gonna read the first few words and the last few words. So yeah, it also shows you how this will look like in Google search results. This is good to just imagine how it will look like. And even it gives you how it will look like in an email. So if your subject line is too long, then people will not be able to see the whole thing without actually clicking it, and that might cause your open rates to drop actually. So yeah, play around with this. It's a really good tool. It's free, and I recommend that each time you write a headline, you analyze this, because headlines are so super important for copywriting. A lot of pro copywriters spend about 60-70% of the entire time they need to write a piece of copy just on the headline, because 70-80% of people don't get past the headline. Okay, if your headline hooks them, that's good. You can still basically lose them very easily, but at least you started a conversation. But if the headline doesn't even get their attention, then all those thousands of words that you wrote, they're basically nothing. They don't amount to anything. So make sure to use it. The next tool I have for you is called Natural Reader. Again, this is free, and this is especially useful if you're writing scripts, like video scripts, but it can also be extremely helpful if you're writing any type of direct response copy, because it's really important for your text to flow easily, to be easy to pronounce. And actually, a lot of copywriters say that you should write as you talk. So there's this little story that you should write something as if you were saying it to your friend at a bar on a Friday night while having a beer. So this tool is able to help you just think about your copy in another way, because even if you write something, you edited it, and you think that, oh my God, it's the best copy ever, and when you listen back to it, you're gonna hear a few places where it just sounds weird, and those are the exact places where you will lose people, especially if you're writing a video script. So if I click to go to the online reader, it will give me something, and just listen to this, guys.
Drag and drop your files, or type, paste, and edit text here. Natural Reader is a professional text-to-speech program that converts any written text into spoken words.
So yeah, it's basically, it does have a little bit of robotic tint. It's not completely human, but it does sound more human than the typical phone assistants, and it's much easier to use and paste stuff here. So this is a more advanced tool, but it can really help and elevate your conversions. Now, the sixth tool that I want to highlight you is called Unsuck It, and it's a very funny tool. Basically, it's useful whenever you get an expression that you have no idea what it is. So obviously you knew what an action item is, but let's say I don't. I just click Unsuck It, and it's gonna basically tell me what this is in a funnier way, basically. And this is really useful when you're writing copy, because you don't want to sound bland. You want to be, full of personality. You want to add a little bit of sizzle. So if I say deploy, for example, obviously it means to move troops into position or something. But this says moves troops into position for military action, because Sun Tzu is your homeboy. So if you add something like this in an email or something, given that your brand allows this, if you have a more laid-back style, then it will really make a huge difference on how people react to your copy. And using this in places where you need more engagement from people, like a Facebook ad or a blog post where you want more comments from people, this will really help out a lot. And you can also play around with various things, and you'll have a good time with it, I promise. And the seventh tool that I actually want to highlight here isn't just a copywriting tool, it's an SEO tool. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically this is used as a WordPress plugin. You just install it on your website, and it will show you a lot of places where you can make your text more readable. It reminds you automatically to add more keywords in. It will help you to format your text in a way that it's more Google friendly. And it also provides a host of other recommendations on how to, write your meta tags, your title, all these things. And it's free. It's free. It has a paid version as well, but you can use most of the features in the free tier as well. And if you're writing anything in WordPress, if you're publishing blogs, if SEO is at least a little bit important to your business, and it should be, if you're doing anything about content marketing at all, then you should definitely use this, because it will create a huge difference on where you will actually rank in Google. And I have one more bonus tool for you guys. This is really a fun one. It's called IMSDB. It's very similar to imdb.com, but instead of just giving you a bunch of details about movies, this site has the full scripts of the most popular movies out there. And most of these movies were written by the best scriptwriters out there. And if you like reading, if you just want to become a better writer, not just a better copywriter, then, reading these types of scripts will definitely improve your writing a lot. So if I check, for example, Thor Ragnarok, it was a pretty good movie with pretty good scripts and everything. Basically, you can just click here and read the entire script, the entire long script of it. And not just the dialogues here, but how the writers actually plan the story, what are the descriptions here, dialogues of the characters themselves, and all these things. If you read these, it will definitely make you a better scriptwriter, but it will also make you a better writer in general. You will understand how to logically and sequentially string together different ideas so that you really captivate your audience with a story. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, then subscribe, because I will be releasing a lot of additional content about copywriting and conversion rate optimization that you'll no doubt love. Also, if you want to check out my website, then head over to gameofconversions.com, and I have a bunch of cool and free resources there as well. Make sure to check them out. Also, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've used any of these tools before, maybe the Hemingway app, maybe the Thesaurus app, or something else. Let me know so I can also discover your favorite tool in copywriting. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, see you in the next one. Take care.